Welcome to Market Recap Live. I am your host, Joseph Martin, and I have an awesome show for you guys tonight. And if it look like I got stains on my shirt, that's water. That's water. It'll be gone by the end of the show. But it's Monday, and I'm already ready for Friday. I'm telling you the truth. I had a day ahead of me. Oh my goodness. All right, but we're gonna get it going. We are looking at a retail giant that just integrated a massive acquisition and reported record-setting sales. We are taking a look at ticker DKS. You might know them better as DICKS Sporting Goods. DICKS Sporting Goods Incorporated started in 1948 when 18-year-old Dick Stack opened a small bait and tackle shop in Binghamton. I should have read this before we recorded. Binghamton, New York, using a $300 loan from his grandmother's cookie jar. Now they are the global leader in omni-channel sporting goods retail. DICKS Sporting Goods Incorporated primary competitors are Academy Sports and Outdoors, Hibbett Sports, and Big Five Sporting Goods. So today we are going to review DICKS Sporting Goods Incorporated earnings and take a look at their website. And first, we're going to do our stream poll. So let's get our roll call and check our stream poll. Let's get that going. Where is it? There we go. All right. We are streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. Let's get this chat going and tell us where you're tuning in from. Put a YT in the chat if you're tuning in from YouTube, and put a FB in the chat if you're tuning in from Facebook. All right, we are building a community over here for people who want to take control of their financial situation by learning how to unlock the wealth building power of the stock market. We are streaming Monday through Friday following trading sessions at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The U.S. stock market regular trading hours are 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's a link for the New York Stock Exchange calendar down in the description. Chat is cool. All right, so let's get to it. Let's get to these earnings. All right. DICKS Sporting Goods Incorporated, ticker symbol DKS, the $16.89 billion consumer discretionary leader, reported its fourth quarter 2026 earnings March 12, 2026. DKS is listed in the specialty retail industry inside the consumer cyclical sector. This should be this should be the consumer discretionary sector. They have a 52-week high of 237.1. They have a 52-week high of $237.31 and a 52-week low of $166.37, which is a trading range of $70.94, and closed today at $187.73. DICKS Sporting Goods Incorporated earnings report beat on the top line and beat on the bottom line, driven by the first full quarter of Foot Locker integration and a 3.1% comp sales increase in the core DICKS business. They reported revenue of $6.23 billion, which was higher than the market expectations of $6.08 billion. Their EPS were higher than the analyst and market expectations of $3.03, when they reported an adjusted EPS of $3.45. DICKS Sporting Goods Incorporated reported a GAAP net income of $128.3 million, which is lower than the $300 million net income they reported the same quarter last year, which is a decrease of 57.2%. So for the fourth fiscal quarter of 2025, their net profit was approximately 133.8. I'm sorry, I'm saying it all wrong. Was approximately 133.8% higher than it is compared to now a year later. DICKS Sporting Goods Incorporated 52-week high of $237.31 took place in October 2025, and today the stock reached a daily high of $194.16. The stock has been in a short-term downtrend, dropping over 2% today as it continues to digest the heavy integration cost associated with the Foot Locker acquisition. This represents a decline of 20.9% over a span of approximately 5 months. So if someone invested $1,000 at that high, they would currently be seeing a loss of $209. The earnings were released before the market opened, followed by a 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time conference call. Management set 226. Boy, I'm reading fast, ain't I? Management set 2026 revenue guidance between 22.1 billion and 22.4 billion, which was ahead of analysts' expectations. All right, so let's look at a couple of things on their website. And for your convenience, all companies featured in tonight's stream are down in the description. So let's move this a different way. All right, let's do it this way. Zoom in. And we just gonna browse over their website and see what they got going on. We definitely see they got some shoes, don't we? They got shoes everywhere. All right, this is definitely a shop first situation. Anytime we looking at consumer discretionary or anything that's dealing with stores, oh my gosh, everything's on sale. So we need to find something about the company and the investment information. But let's scroll over their website and see what they have to offer. We definitely know they got shoes, which we already talked about. So let's just keep scrolling, see if you're gonna have to click on something to pull up hoodies or socks or anything different, because I think this whole first page ain't nothing but shoes. Shoes. Look at the scroll on this boy. We finally at the bottom. All right, while I'm down here, I'm gonna check the company stuff. So here's about us and investor relations. So because it wasn't nothing but shoes, let's just go back to the top and click on some other things. So you got new and trending. That's a lot of options, ain't it? Sports. Man, they got a lot of stuff on this menu. I just want them to change the picture from these shoes. That's all I want. Just go somewhere else besides these shoes. They already got a whole shoe section. So all men, if I click all men, well, there we go. All right, so men sell. Shop all men's shoes, men's clothing, men's accessories, big and tall. Let's scroll. Let's see if they got some pictures up here. Okay. Look like they just selling clothes. Do they sell anything sports-wise? Let me see. They got outdoor. This just look like all sports. Okay, wait a minute. Bike, cycling, bowling. Okay. Here it is. So this is like sports stuff, volleyball, tennis racket stuff, hockey, lacrosse, basketball. Okay, all right. I'm starting to think y'all just selling clothes with you. Y'all bought Foot Locker from what they was talking about. So yeah, we see this. We see what's going on with DICKS Sporting Goods. They got this. So let's just go on and read what's going on with their company. All right, go down here to the bottom, about us. All right, about us. The story begins. DICKS Sporting Goods was founded in 1948 when 18-year-old Dick Stack was working at an Army surplus store in Birmingham, New York. An avid fisherman, Dick was approached by the store owner to come up with a list of products needed to get into the fishing tackle business. After Dick presented his suggestions, the owner told him he was a dumb kid and had no idea what he was doing. Dick was upset and promptly quit. He went to his grandmother's house where he spent a lot of his time as a kid and told her what had happened. Dick's grandmother asked how much it would cost to build the store himself. Dick said it would cost $300. His grandmother then went into the cookie jar where she kept her life savings and gave him $300 and told him, do it yourself. Dick used that money and his relentless work ethic to open a bait and tackle shop in Binghamton. By late 1970s, he expanded his product line to include much of what you'll find at DICKS Sporting Goods today. That man pissed that man off, and he went and got him $300 out of his grandma's cookie jar and started a gold mine, didn't he? Sometimes it take that motivation of somebody pissing you off to get you to step it up. Sometimes that's motivation and lives on. You can let challenges of somebody making you mad be used as an excuse not to do anything, or you can use it as fuel and get yourself together. Early years, 1948, 1952. Can you see that? 1971, 1977, 1984. Oh, yeah, he grew. He made something happen out that $300. Okay, let's find the investors' information. Wait a minute. About us, news, presentation, financials. It's right here. It's very small at the top, guys, but it's investors is right here, investor relations. So we can see the stock information right here. So ticker symbol DKS does trade on the New York Stock Exchange. And I meant to tell you this at the beginning of the live stream. DICKS is not in the S&P 500. So during earnings season right now, I want to make sure I highlight a company that has earnings, and it's real thin for S&P 500 companies right now. So I did something a little different just to be able to make sure that we were talking about a company who had recent earnings. That's why I picked DICKS today. So about us, DICKS Sporting Goods was founded in 1948. They love that story though. They love that story. We done read that story like 3 or 4 times. They want you to know he was 18 with that $300. So we got a video right here. We're not gonna play that quarters. All right, so let's find some more details about the stock information. So if you go up here to the top, I'm seeing stock information. So stock details. Let's see if they're gonna give us a graph or some type of options. Get these cookies off here. Let's zoom in because this look like it's hard to read. Where we at? That's 150%. So we got it on 150%. Just in case you're looking at this from your phone, I tried to help you out. So price $187.78. Volume. They didn't have a lot of volume today. So they had 1.3 million shares traded today. The change, this is a dollar change. Okay, yeah. So they lost $1.38 of $4.38 today. Percentage change of $2.28 to the downside. Today's open. They open at $192.16. We're gonna read this on the chart, but this is just the stock quote for today. What happened today? So here's the stock chart. This is a line graph. And these are the volume bars. And usually when they have charts that look like this, because we see this often on this website, we can't change this style right here. But you can change the time frames. If you're looking at 1 month, 3 months, 6 months. And these are daily candles. I mean, not daily candles. These are days. So each one of these volume bars is a day. And the date will be right there on that box. So that was Wednesday, November 25th. No, that's Tuesday. Wednesday, November 26, 2025. So that tells you the volume and the closing price for that day. All right, well, look like that's all the stock information they have. Dividend splits and repurchases. Okay. So dividend chart. So DICKS does pay dividends. So the record date is March 27, 2026. Declared date. So they said they were going to pay dividends on March 11, 2026. And you need to be owning the stock on this X dividend date. And they're going to record it. This is the first time I've seen these as 2 different dates since we've been looking at this. But basically, you can own the shares on that date and still get paid for it on the pay date. So if you sold it right after they recorded you owning it on that date, you can still get those dividends. And they're paying out $1.25 per share. So based on how many shares you have, you would multiply that times $1.25, and that's how much a dividend payout would be. And they pay quarterly, where they say frequency at. So every 3 months they pay dividends. All right, so let's go ahead and go look at the charts. Let's look at the charts. Close this out. Go over to right here. All right, I already have them pulled up, and this is a 10-year week. We don't want to look at that. But the ticker symbol is right here. Ticker DKS. We're using the Thinkorswim platform. Let me pull that up on the screen. Give you the disclaimer right here. And we are going to put this on a day chart. I mean, a 1 year, 1 day. Yeah, it was on a weekly. So now we're on a 1 year, 1 day. This is what happened today. This candle right here. And when I told you about the earnings, the earnings highlights earlier, we was talking about it being on a 5-month downtrend, short-term downtrend. So this is how I'm gonna show you that. Pull up this regression line and go here. Yeah, we're just going to link the top of that. So if I go here, you can see that this line slopes to the downside as we come to the right. So towards the right of the chart is the most recent. And these dotted lines that you see, these red dotted lines, these represent a month. So from here to here, this is going to be March. So that's why it's not all the way over, because we're still in the month of March. So March, February. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when I mentioned earlier, they've been in a 5-month short-term downtrend. This is what we're talking about. It's trending down over the last 5 months. And these dotted red, these dashed red lines represent a month. So that's how we can track that out and count it real quick. That's what we're looking at. And if you don't know how to read these candle charts, I did pull this book out so you can see it. Let me pull the big monitor up so you can check this out. All right, so I pulled this out. You see my tab. So this is what I read to be able to read these charts, these candlestick charts. And I have a link down in the description. It is an affiliate link. If you don't want me to get anything, just go on there without clicking it. But I do get a kickback at no extra cost to you. But I did tell you guys last week that I was going to put this down in the chat. So, I mean, down in the description. So I did make sure I did that today. So we're going to read the data for today's candle right here. And I'm gonna put the data box, the floating data box up on the screen. And I don't have it where you can see it. So let me click it so you can see it. There we go. So I'm putting the floating data box back on the screen. So when I mouse over today's candle, you can see what happened. So let's go ahead and read it. So today, DICKS opened at $192.16. They had a high of $194.16. They had a low of $186.67. They closed at $187.78, which was a trading range of $7.49. And if we look down at the trading volume, it's kind of hard to read. Ain't that something? This is showing up behind the labels instead of on top of it, so I can't see. I'm gonna have to take the floating data box off so I can read it at the top. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. So we take this off and click apply. So now when I mouse over it, the volume is gonna show. If I move right here, I'm gonna just point to it. This area right here where it says volume, this number right here is what we're looking for. So earlier when we looked at DICKS website and looked at the investor information, they said that today's volume was 1,330 something. No, 330 something. 1,330 something thousand for the volume today. So watch this number when I mouse over for the volume. Where I pointed at, there it is. 1,339,675 trades or shares. Shares were traded today with DICKS. So that's what we're seeing right here on this candle as far as volume. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. So let's talk about the mobile limitations, which what we should have talked about before I actually showed you this chart on your phone. But it's all right. Let's go ahead. Pull up. Should I do it on this screen? Yeah, let's just do it right here. Let's just do it right here. So we done already looked at the charts, but I want you to remember professionals trade from a computer, not a mobile device. Mobile trading apps are limited. You lose critical detail and advanced platform features on a mobile screen. So be advised, trading from your phone is usually the least effective way for managing your assets. To see every detail, use a full trading platform and watch these streams on a computer or TV. Only use your phone as a last resort. Now let's look at the charts for DICKS, which I didn't already did. So I should have looked at this and read it before I did it, but I didn't. I told you I'm already ready for Friday. So, all right, we did looked at that, check the chat. Nobody saying anything. Cool. Back to the community. I would appreciate it very much if you guys share the stream, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And if you wish to send a monetary gift to support the content, Cash App and PayPal links are in the description and down on that ticker right there. Check the chat. Y'all still ain't saying nothing. All right. So the S&P 500 and the market closed. Let's look at that. Let's look at the S&P 500. So let's go over to the charts again. Right here. All right, so we back on the charts, and we are going to go right here in this symbol box, and we're going to put in SPY. And when we look at the SPY, we can see that this is the S&P 500 ETF, because you cannot invest directly into an index. You have to invest in something that tracks the S&P 500 performance. So the ticker symbol for that is SPY, and this is the candle for today. And it looked like it peaked back into that sideways trend that we identified right here with these two lines. So it was trading sideways for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 months. And then last week, these two candles fell out of that trading range, and it looked like today's high of the daily candle peaked up back into that trading range. So let's cut this data box back on, this floating data box, so we can read what happened. So the SPY opened today at $668.38. They had a high of $672.07. They had a low of $667.12, and they closed today at $669.03 with a trading range of $4.95. And if we look down at the volume, they traded 82 million shares today of that ETF. Wow. Okay. But that isn't, it was slightly less than 70% on the rank percentile, but it was still higher than average with the volume. And remember, the Candlestick book is down in the description if you don't know how to read candles, and it is an affiliate link, but the disclaimer and everything you need to see is down there. All right, let's see what else we got going on. All right, now let's look at today's winners and losers from the S&P 500. But first, we're going to look at the loser so we can end tonight on a high note. All right, so let's go over here to Market Watch, and we're going to change our watch list to the S&P 500. We're going to change our columns to Market Recap, and we're going to link this to 2. All right, we're going to click the percentage change column. And there's our biggest loser. All right, now let me tell you about this biggest loser thing. We've been doing this for about 2 weeks, and I'm noticing that the same companies are popping up at the top and the bottom. I want to rotate where we're looking at different companies' websites from day to day so we can get a broader idea about different investment opportunities and different choices that we have and how these different companies are into all these different types of things. But if the same companies keep showing up at the top or the bottom, we're looking at the same websites over and over again. So I didn't have time earlier to point out the actual episodes we looked at these other companies on, but we're not going to look at these because we already looked at them before. So tonight we actually going to look at CrowdStrike because we have not looked at CrowdStrike yet. So even though that's not the actual loser, I'm explaining to you why we're not looking at it. So the previous close for CrowdStrike, ticker symbol CRWD, they had a previous close yesterday at $441.78. They closed today at $423.84, and they lost 4.06%. So let's pull up our calculator. So if someone invested $1,000 and they lost that 4.06%, they would have lost $40.60. Negate that, add the 1,000 back to it, and that'll tell you how much of your $1,000 you would have had left after losing that 4.06%, which would be $959.40. So let's go over to Analyze and look at some more details about the company. So we hit Analyze, CrowdStrike pops up. There we go. All right, so ticker Crowd, CRWD, is in the information technology sector, okay? And we need to look at the company profile, and we're going to do that by taking me off the screen. So there we go. All right, here's their website, and we're going to read a little bit about the company, and it's not even that long, so that's even better. The company's full name is CrowdStrike Holdings Incorporated. CrowdStrike Holdings Incorporated provides cybersecurity solutions in the United States and internationally. Its unified platform provides cloud-delivered protection of endpoints, cloud workloads, identity, and data through a software as a service SaaS subscription-based model. The company offers corporate endpoint and cloud workload security, managed security, security and vulnerability management, IT operations management, identity protection, threat intelligence, data protection, SaaS security, posture management, and AI-powered workflow automation, and securing generative AI workload services, as well as security orchestration, automation, and response, and security information and event management and log management services. I start laughing. I'm looking for the period. You understand? Everything was a comma, 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 and they threw a semicolon in there. That was just 2 sentences, if I'm not mistaken. All right, well, let's go to their website. They got me. They got me. I think that's the highlight of the show every time I be messing up. All right, let's blow this up. Put me back on the screen. Take this ticker off. Might be driving you crazy. Here we go. All right, let's zoom in. That didn't do anything. Let's go over here. Zoom in. One more. Yeah, let's go with that. All right. CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike 2026 Global Threat Report, the definitive threat intelligence report for the AI era. Download report, blah, blah, blah. The agentic security platform, unified and built to secure the AI revolution. Explore now, human-led. This is a lot going on right here, boy. Ooh, I don't know what that is. Got the links down in the description. You can check it out on your own time, but I'm not about to read all that. Recognition by trusted analysts. CrowdStrike named a leader for the 6th consecutive time. 2025 Gartner Magic Quadrant for endpoint protection platforms. Customer's Choice 2025. CrowdStrike named a leader in the IDC MarketScape for CNAAP. I mean, I said 2 A's. It's 2 P's. CNAPP. Tailored bundles to stop breaches. They have something for free. They got $59. It says build per device, build annually. Falcon Pro, Falcon Enterprise, mobile device protection. Okay. Falcon Complete next. So this cybersecurity for your phone, they selling you all types of stuff. Secure your AI, prevent your data leaks, and secure AI agents, apps, models, identities, and infrastructure from all from a single platform. Them some characters, ain't it? Know them, find them, stop them. Adversaries are operating with unprecedented stealth, and today's attacks take only minutes to succeed. Discover the adversaries targeting your organization. Explore adversary universe. Try CrowdStrike for 15 days. Okay. So let me take me off the screen for a second, and we're going to look for the company. Here it is. I was blocking it. So we got the About Us, and then we had the Investor Relations. So let's go to About Us. Put me back on the screen. There we go. About CrowdStrike. Setting the standard for security in the cloud era. CrowdStrike secures the most critical areas of risk, endpoints and cloud workloads, identity and data to keep customers ahead of today's adversaries and stop breaches. Code of ethics and compliance certification, CrowdStrike suppliers, public policy, Falcon Fund. See what our customers think. CrowdStrike protects. I'm just glancing, guys. That's a lot to read. Like I said, link down in the description. You're more than welcome to look at this on your own leisure if I'm moving too fast for you. Okay, let's look at the investor relations because we got another company to look at. And of course, they zoomed us out real quick. So let's zoom in. Investor relations. So CrowdStrike trades on the NASDAQ. Ticker symbol CRWD. They closed today at $423.84. They lost $17.94, down that 4.06 we talked about. 06%, 4.06% we talked about. We are on a mission to protect our customers from breaches. CrowdStrike was founded in 2011 to reinvent security for the cloud era. So they're about 15 years old. Realizing that the nature of cybersecurity problems had changed, but the solutions had not. We built our CrowdStrike Falcon platform to detect threats and stop breaches. With our Falcon platform, we created the first multi-tenant cloud native intelligent security solution capable of protecting workloads across on-premise, virtualized, and cloud-based environments running on a variety of endpoints such as laptops, desktops, servers, virtual machines, and Internet of Things or low-T devices. I found a period. So I'm done reading that. Press releases, upcoming events, CrowdStrike accelerates engineering with Nvidia. So they might be working with Nvidia. So Nvidia is a powerhouse with the AI. So that might be something to definitely look into. Built with Nvidia, so they mentioned them twice. So Nvidia is one of the Magnificent Seven, and that's one of the companies we talked about in the earlier streams when I first started doing this a couple of weeks ago. All right, let's see if we can find the stock information. Here it is right here, stock info, and over here, stock quote and chart. There you go, we already read that. This is the overall data when we moused over the candle. We didn't look at the candle, we looked at the market watch tab. We didn't actually look at a chart of CrowdStrike. But as we can see right here, they on a downtrend. But this is just today. This is today. Where's the time frame? Yeah, see right here, it's saying 1 day. So this is a 5-day chart. This is a 1-month chart. So they had a big dip over here on the 23rd and 24th. They were $360 around that time, and now they reached $440 from that low. So that would be like an $80 increase on the investment if you had bought it, if someone had bought it around here at this price underneath 360. Can you change this chart? Yep, you can change it. So this is the mountain, which we talked about before, and here's the candlesticks. So this might be easier for you to see than those other lines. And remember, this book for candlestick reading is down in the description. You don't have to use the link. It is affiliate, but this is the book that I use to be able to read candlesticks. All right. I think we good. We good with this one. All right. This was the loser anyway. Let's get to the winner. Let's get to the winner. Let's get to the winner. All right. We back. Market watch. Hit the percentage change. Put the disclaimer back on the screen. There we go with the ticker so you know what we're using. All right, now here's a spoiler alert again. This is not an order we're about to do. All right, so the winner for today is Dollar Tree. And the problem with talking about Dollar Tree today is that Dollar Tree has earnings this week, and I plan on featuring them. So talking about them as the winner today would ruin that for me. So we're not going to talk about Dollar Tree, even though they the winner. Also, if you've been following along, SanDisk, we done talked about SanDisk, I think, oh my gosh, they done popped up like 2 or 3 times in a matter of 2 or 3 weeks. Then we talked about Norwegian. We have not talked about Western Digital. So that's the 4th winner today. So we are not doing the biggest winner. We're doing the 4th because of the reasons that I just gave you. So the previous close for Western Digital, that's the name of the company, ticker symbol WDC. They closed yesterday at $272.29, and they closed today at $286.21, which was a 5.11% increase. So let's pull out a calculator. If someone invested $1,000 and got that 0.0511 percentage gain on their investment, they would have $51.10. And that would be the ROI on top of their $1,000 investment. So that's what their $1,000 would have grown to if they had bought it at this closing price and sold it at this closing price, the previous closing price, and then sold at today's closing price. All right, so we got the calculator out the way. Let's go over to analyze, speed this up a little bit. So the ticker symbol, WDC, they are in the information technology sector. We're going to go down to the company profile. The name of the company, get me off the screen, is Western Digital Corporation. Here's their website. Thank goodness this is short. Let's go ahead and read this description of the company. Western Digital Corporation develops, manufactures, and sells data storage devices and solutions based on hard disk drive HDD, not DDD, technology in the United States, Asia, Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. The company offers internal HDDs, data center drives, data center platforms, external drives, portable drives, NAS for the home and office, and accessories. It sells its data storage devices and solutions through its computer manufacturers, sales personnel, dealers, distributors, and retailers. Western Digital Corporation was founded in 1970 and is headquartered in San Jose, California. Let's go to their website, pull it over, bam, blow it up, put me back on the screen and remove the ticker. Let's blow this up, see where we at with the zoom. All right. Getting better, y'all. It's getting smoother. All right. Innovation Day 2026. A new day dawns for Western Digital. See the future. See this moving while I'm reading? We talked about this before. The promise of performance optimized HDDs. 2 new advancements take aim at boosting HDD's performance without, see? I ain't even about to play with them. Western Digital hard drive storage solutions for data centers, NAS, enterprise surveillance, and AI. I like the colors. Even though it's going inside the computer, you're not going to see it. So this is the hard drive products that they sell. We're not going to scroll through all of that. And I done left the main page. Did I did? Yeah, I did. Let me go back to the main page. All right. Okay. Technology, performance optimized HDD breakthroughs. Hammer is paving the way to huge capacity gains. Western Digital is now WD transformation. Store and scale with future-ready platforms. I just want to scroll over. I ain't trying to click on nothing. Reinvented for the AI-driven data economy, meeting the moment of AI-driven transformation. Boy, they put AI everywhere. Ain't it? It's everywhere. AI. Woo! About WD. Innovations, careers, investors, newsroom, and about. So I like the fact that they have an image right here for the about, but I'm still going to look at the bottom and see if we can find it. Company, I see about us. I wonder if these are the same. We're going to check and see. And then investors right there under the company as well. So I'm going to open this like that. And then I'm going to open this one like that. That way we can compare them quickly. Yep, it's the same. I can tell by the tab at the top. So this was the first one we opened, and this was the second one. So those 2 different links take you to the exact same thing. See, that's why you got to check. You got to look at these things, people. Powering data, driving potential, enabling innovation without compromise. Our vision and mission at Western Digital, our vision is to unleash the power and value of data. For decades, we have been at the forefront of storage innovation, which fuels our mission to be the market leader in data storage, delivering solutions for now and the future. We are committed to providing scalable, sustainable technology for the world's hyperscalers, enterprises, and cloud providers, and building cutting-edge innovation designed to drive the next generation of AI data workloads. So they have our values. We're going to browse over that real quick. Customers, enabling all customers to succeed. Results, making progress and achieving goals. Connection, collaborating as one as a support team. The link for this website is also down in the description if you want to take your time and review it and look over it on your own time. For your convenience, the links are down there. Leadership, advancing innovation, partners, capital, corporate responsibility, investor relations, news events, careers at WD. So we're going to use this link right here because we done already checked to see that some of these links take you to the same thing. I'm pretty sure that investors relations and investors take you to the same place. So we're going to click here. Did it open up a separate window? I had to click it twice. Okay, let's zoom in. 150. All right, so Western Digital, ticker symbol WDC, trades on the NASDAQ. We looked at their price. They closed the day at $286.21. And here's their percentage change that we talked about earlier. Here's their trading volume. So they traded 8.5 million. We rounded it off. 8.5 million shares today. Who we are at WD, our vision is to unleash the power of value and data. For decades, I think this is the same thing. I'm not going to read that whole thing. And I just feel like that's the same one we read earlier. Let me see if we can find some stock charts. They put about us here, financial information, investor stock information. Here it is. Quote and chart. And they pay dividends. So you can see dividend history right here. But we're going to look up the quote and chart. Here's the information about today's candle. And again, here's a book if you need to learn how to read candlesticks. Link down in the description. It is an affiliate link. You don't have to use it, but it helps the channel. All right, this is a mountain chart. We can change this to candlesticks, which we just discussed. And there we go. Now we have candles. The time frame we're looking at is 1 year, so we can change this to 1 month. I don't know if we can change the color of these candles, but these are kind of hard to see, which kind of, well, you have a lot of options to use different platforms. So I wouldn't expect the charts on these companies' websites to be the best anyway, because they really don't expect you to be trading from their website. But to me, this isn't hard to, I mean, this is kind of hard to read. And then you draw in technical analysis and stuff on these charts. That's another reason why it's good to have a actual robust platform with a broker, because this is just something to glance at and read real quick. All right, dividend history. So they declared the dividend on January 29, 2026. You had to own it. See how these dates are the same? Remember earlier, those dates were different, but now right here, they're the same. That was weird. I don't know why those two dates before were different, but you have to own the shares at the closing of this date. So when you're on record as owning those shares that date, you can sell it before they pay the dividend, and you can still get paid that dividend. So they paid 13 cents per share. And I believe they pay out dividends quarterly, even though they don't say that. And a quick way for me to find this out, and we pretty much done. So we can go back to the Thinkorswim platform so I can show you what I'm talking about. We go back to the Thinkorswim platform, close this out. And we already had their stock pulled up. So right here at the bottom of the screen, I'm gonna zoom in. I know this is very small. I know it's very small, guys. But right here, this $ icon, that is a dividend payout. These are dividends. So this was 12.5 cents. Did they say it was 12 cents? Is that what we just read on their website? What date is this right here? That date says 12/4. This date says March 5th. So over here, it says that the dividend payout was 12 cents. So let's go back to their website real quick and see if that's what we had saw. Man, I closed that window. We're going to get back there, though. I'm curious. I want to see if it's the same. Nope, 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 nope. Oh, man, where are we at? Analyze. Here we go. All right, website, Western Digital. Pull this back over, blow it up. All right, now when we blow this up, go down. Investors. And we looking for the dividend information, stock information, dividend history, payout. They rounded it up. I knew it wasn't the same number. So they rounded it up and said they paid 13 cents as a dividend. But when we look at TD Ameritrade was purchased by was bought out by Charles Schwab. So that's why I said the wrong company, but it's Charles Schwab now. But they said the dividend was 12.5 cents. They rounded up and put 13. So somebody ain't telling the truth. That's what I'm noticing. Somebody is lying around here. But okay, we're gonna wrap it up tonight, guys. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Let me go ahead. Where we at? So you already know I didn't change this camera to this one. Here we go. You already know. I hope that you learned something, and I hope that you earned something. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. If you haven't done so already, make sure you check out the whole life insurance link I have down in the description. And make sure you tune in weekdays following the market trading session at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take care and God bless.